Hey everybody, welcome to another awesome episode of Clandestine Cabal. I'm Jason.
And I'm Ben.
And Matt is not here due to his presence of a social life. Anyway, this is a comic book review show, and we review comics, so we're going to kick it off with some pretty awesome comics. We got 3 reviews for you all today, and we're starting off with Batwing number 2 from the DC New. And this, we mentioned in our speed round last month that Batwing was one of the biggest surprises of the first week of the DC New and of the DC New as a whole, and it continues to be that. This is quite the badass book, coming from Judd Winnick and Ben Oliver. I'm a fan of Judd Winnick's work in general, but this is just like over and above what I would expect out of a title about somebody who's kind of supposed to be Batman, but really isn't. I mean, that's what you would probably think if you see Batwing, but this is just an amazing book. I mean, Batman's presence in it is minimal, but still profound to the book, and the writing and the art is just so incredible. You love this. You love Batwing. You love the character of Batwing. You love the villains that is being introduced. And it's just like got remarkable pacing. This is one of my favorite books from the DC New. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have to echo kind of everything you said about it. It was the biggest surprise for me out of all the New 52. I literally bought it just because it was a #1, and I was blown away by how great it was. It's so awesome to just see like the relationship between him and Batman and I don't know if I can say that yet, but the last 2 issues now, and it's just been really cool to see like that kind of mentor thing going on between the two of them. And I guess like the biggest theme with this book right now is like a legacy. So it's really interesting to have, you know, Batman kind of passing the torch to this guy as part of like the Batman Incorporated. And then there's also like the Kingdom, which is this like kind of old Justice League of Africa. It reminds me a little bit of Watchmen. I mean, it's not a lot similar, but it's really interesting. And Massacre, who has to be like my favorite part of this book, I love everything about the book, and he's my favorite part, is just expertly written, and is out of most of the villains that I've read in the new DC New, or I keep saying that, that's redundant, the new DCU, he has to be the most I actually like think is a psychopath and like actually terrified of. So I
wouldn't want to get on his bad side.
No, so go and read it, please. It's great. Good job, Mr. Winnick. Mm-hmm. I've got X-Men Schism number 5 by Jason Aaron. I really wanted to get a Schism book in just because it's really kind of this huge pivotal event going on with the X-Men right now, and it's going to restart. Not as big, you know, as DC, but it's going to kind of revamp the X-Men in the Marvel Universe.
Basic storyline is X-Men. It's supposed to be the separation of the X-Men between siding with Wolverine and siding with Cyclops, the 2 obviously main figures of the X-Men.
Now, the first 3 issues were kind of all leading up to like the actual conflict that is the Schism, and it began in issue 4, but like the shit really hit the fan in this issue, and Wolverine and Cyclops are like really going at it, and there's that came out funny. So wow, there's so they're really fighting, and it went on for like pages without dialogue, and was just like abundantly violent and just really awesome, and I don't know, it was really solid. And,
and for those of you who are in doubt, Cyclops is capable of kicking the shit out of Wolverine.
Yeah.
He actually burned his face off.
He went full visor
face off.
We did that the same time. How cool is that? Anyway,
By the way, check out the movie Face Off, starring John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Directed by John Woo.
Because he leans like this. Anyway.
You'll also enjoy the Detective Comics arc, which is also Face Off.
Face Off.
But anyway, back to Schism.
I'm sorry. Okay, I wanted to actually kind of just review the event itself. And it set out... I wasn't jumping up and down really at any point, but it set out like exactly what it was meant to do, and I'm really excited to see like what's going to happen with like the X-Men in the future. So if you haven't been reading the Schism stuff, you really should go and try it. It's in like second printing, so it should be pretty easy to find.
One thing I really did like about this storyline was the actual depiction of the relationship between Cyclops and Wolverine, and how they're both looking out for mutant kind, but in like completely separate things. Like you've got Cyclops who's looking out for the welfare of all the remaining mutants, whereas like Wolverine's trying to like focus on the innocence of a few mutant children. I mean, obviously, and he's like trying to find like he's concerned about the future as well. So I mean, it really is an amazing debate of values between the two characters, and I love the beginning of issue 1 when like, oh, Cyclops, like, so they were like, oh, you didn't bring any weapons, and Cyclops like, oh yeah, I did, and then Wolverine walks in through the metal detector.
Yeah,
and
cool.
Like how the relationship just evolves, and you keep thinking that, oh, this like shouldn't happen, but it actually should. I don't know if that makes any sense, but
it did to me.
But it's really cool. If you enjoy the X-Men, definitely check it out, and definitely like look forward to the new X-Men books popping up. Uncanny X-Men is restarting, so we'll probably give you a review of that, #1, and along with other X titles. And it's going to be a really fun time to be an X-Men fan.
Yeah, definitely.
And finally, we're closing with a last-minute audible. From Image, we have The Strange Talent of Luther Strode, #1 of 6. This is a mini-series about a, it seems like your average story. Guy like wants to beef up to impress a girl and ends up getting superpowers. This is anything but average. Imagine taking Kick-Ass, Superbad, and Chew, for another comic from Image, throwing it all in an awesome blender, and then you get this. It's so cool. Like, I mean, the second page, this guy rips this one guy's arm off. Like, Luther Strode, the main character, rips a guy's arm off, takes that guy's arm, shoves it down another guy's throat, and then yet still bashes another guy's face off. Again with the face off, by the way. With the same arm. I mean, seriously. That is like making good use of the tools at hand.
That actually trumped Animal Man for like most gratuitous, like the book with the most gratuitous violence.
But I mean, yes, it has gratuitous violence. I mean, if you're buying an Image book, 99% chance it is going to have gratuitous violence.
I didn't mean it as a bad thing.
Well, no, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that it's so much more beyond that. You have the characters. I love all the characters in this book. I love the family dynamic between Luther and his mom, and how they just like have a witty repertoire. And I love his best friend, who I can like totally see Jonah Hill from Superbad as him. And it's just like, I love this book, and I recommend picking it up. And if you love it too, like, contact the author and tell him this is awesome. Make it an ongoing, because obviously I don't think 6 issues is going to be enough for me.
Yeah, no, it was quite spectacular, and like you said, this was a last minute decision to review this for our blog. So I think we made a good call.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. What I just loved about it was that it was self-indulgent, like teenage fantasy. Every guy that it's probably every guy who has read a comic book has felt like this guy at some point, and has wanted to be like more muscular or just like get the girl and all that stuff. So this guy really knew his audience well. So it was just, that was good. And I don't know, like you said, all the characters are just really well drawn and developed, and there's already kind of a cool like mythos to it, and I can see him being kind of an obscure character, but one that like is universally loved in like a few years. So I really recommend that if you can find it, because I had trouble finding it. If you can find it, that you get it. It was really good.
Yeah, it's by Justin Jordan, by the way, and yeah, definitely try to pick it up. And that's all for us this week. If you like what you see, then you can like our page on Facebook, you can subscribe to our videos on YouTube, and you can follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
And if you have any books that you want to see reviewed, just email us at, by the way, that's all on Clandestine Cabal at Perspective website. And our email address is clandestinecabal@gmail.com.
You can contact us any of those ways.
Yeah, I mean, and even if you want to contact us through the comments. And for those of you who have been watching, we appreciate all of your comments. I mean, don't be afraid to speak your mind. We've had a couple people speak their minds. And we love it.
We do love it, yeah. And I just like to I feel like every comment should be addressed, whether like it's a disagreement or not. So
yeah. I'm
not trying to say you're wrong or whatever.
We're not the end all authority on comic books.
No.
We're just giving you our opinion, and we would love to hear your all's opinion, because honestly, it could shed a new light on this and make us buy these books that we're reviewing, and I mean, kind of might not be too hot about. But we appreciate all the viewership up until now, and we'll appreciate any future viewership. So tune in next week, and until then, buy yourself some comic books.